2022 was one of the most intense year of anime, so there is no way anyone could watch everything anime has to offer, right? Well, guess again. At first, I was just going to make a top 10 video and call it a day, but I just had so much to say because looking back now, I watched majority of the anime this year because of these dumbass videos. So let's talk about the best, the worst and the dumb. Obviously, I won't be able to cover every damn show because there were 286 shows this year, but I will at least try to mention every noteworthy show by splitting them up in different categories. So let's jump into it. 2022 had the most cutthroat competition in this category. No girl lasted beyond a single season. Hell, some girls got switched out weekly. One week they're number one, they're the fucking queen, and in the next one, no one fucking cared. The waifus were like Pokemon, and 2022 was Ash, who decided, gotta catch 'em all. Because you are a shiny Pokemon, you are a shiny Pokemon, you are also a shiny Pokemon. You are a shiny, precious. But man, you just gave me depression. Anya's cuteness reached such high daughter levels that Japan started fucking again in hopes that they could make her. But where the fuck are they going to find Yor for that? Mine from Bookworm was another underrated contender for best daughter, where this season just broke my heart. Mikasa went from one of the girls to one of the sad girls, just so the real best girl would return, and her competition didn't have any screen time. Kaguya finally became the best girl of her own show, even though others did put up a good fight. Even though this might be what the fuck opinion, I like Chikimori as I like my vanilla ice cream. Eiko deserves a head pat for being a good girl, and so does Karuizawa. But no one deserves that more other than Nino, who actually got robbed from being the best girl. I mean, what the fuck? Licorice Recoil gave us some of the most badass and cute girls who will smile and make the flowers bloom, but at the same time, they will put a bullet in your head. Picking a waifu from Summertime Rendering is like leaving a kid in the candy store and telling him to pick a single candy. Like, look at him. How sad he is. Oogie 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 oogie. So, I pick Ushio. I mean, Hizuru is fucking badass, but Ushio edges her out. Or does she? No, I made up my mind. It is Ushio. Or... Seeing Nasuna made me realize, if a vampire comes in dressed like that, I'm giving up my blood and humanity without a second thought. On the other hand, we had the pleasure to witness the first waifu lum. She's like Eve for us weebs. Wait, was Eve the first woman or Lilith? Listen, I don't know. I'm Alex from Microsoft. Someone go ask Jesus. We also got some step on me energy from maid girls, and speaking of being stepped on, I'm honestly surprised how the community hasn't already made a shrine out of Akebi's feet. Oh, I guess they are busy doing this.
Smells like heaven.
But the real winner is a tie between two shows, or dare I say, a single girl from one show and multiple girls from other one. In one corner, we have the waifu who everyone loves and adores, none other than Marin Kitagawa, who stands high and above everyone with the help of Cloverworks, who just knew what the fuck they were doing. And in other corner, are weird yet lovely Chainsaw Man girls, except for Kobeni. Sorry Kobeni fans, I don't know if she's a waifu, but she definitely needs a hug. Pawa and Himeno did put up a good fight, especially Himeno, who deserves a huge round of applause. She was the heart and soul of season 1, but the one who captivated me the most was none other than Makima. In manga itself, Makima had my heart in chains, but now that she is animated, and also the way Mappa framed her shots. But the biggest reason why Makima just captivated me was because of the voice acting. The way she speaks in this subtle seductive tone where you feel things.
Tenji-kun, お願いがあるんだけど、いいかな?
And at the same time, you are also terrified of what will happen if you don't obey her.
死体があるから片付けさせて。
Which is the perfect voice for her character. And even though Makima and Marin are the best girls, I gotta give shout out to the girls at Kesoku Band. By the end of it, I really started to root for Kita. Bochi really came into her own. Nijika had won my heart since this scene. Ryo never stopped being cool. Hikuri and Seika were the best. So put it simply, these girls fucking rocked. That sounded way better in my head. With the vast amount of anime coming out every year, there are a lot of shows which get overlooked. The ones which get some traction but not a lot to break into mainstream. These shows are the sleeper hit of the community, and other are the true underrated gems. Not the ones which some YouTubers use to clickbait. Stop showing that. So I'm checking all of them into overlooked category. Akebi-chan's Sailor Uniform is just a slice of life anime about a middle school girl trying to be an idol. The plot itself is fucking boring, but the thing which stands out is the fucking animation. Like, look at this. Everything is so beautiful. Glowworks just randomly flexed on a show which not many people even gave it a chance. Dance here somehow did the impossible and got me interested in ballet, where I never thought the intricacies and the overall vibe of ballet would appeal to someone like me, and the way it sold to my goopy goblin gamer brain was getting me hooked to the characters. But the main reason why this show got overlooked is not because it is about ballet, but the same old shooting yourself in the foot approach of Japanese anime manga industry, which is not officially translating the manga, and as a result, the fanbase never grew. PA Works came in and released two I don't know what the fuck am I watching, but this shit fucking slaps, in the form of Yaboy Kongming, which gave us Kongming, the smartest and the most five-head strategist of China when it was divided into kingdoms, but now he's an idol's manager who handles social media with war tactics. You know what? Logan Paul might need Kongming if he keeps pulling shit like this.
Legally, you have to report correct news with verifiable information.
Right, that's why I'm calling you.
And other is making maid cafes from this to making something like this. Yeah, they turned maid cafes into gang wars. I mean, why stop there? Let's go all out and add this music. Do it yourself gave us cute girls making furniture, and Gundam Mercury is the definition of being slept on. There are three reasons what makes this show great. Giant robots going dish, a world with political intrigue where different factions are just waiting to destroy each other, and in process causing a civil war. And the last one is the teen high school drama which seamlessly connects all three worlds without feeling like To Your Eternity Season 2 was another anime which people slept on. Most people didn't even know that Season 2 was airing, or it even existed. There was a slight drop in production, but other than that, it pulled the same heartstrings. But nothing comes close to Summertime Rendering. This anime is a masterpiece, and no one watched it. No one fucking watched it. How is it possible? I mean, I know how is it possible. Just go with me here, okay? This anime right here is the content of Anime of the Year. So please go watch it. Or watch my video right here. This is going to be a big one. Just to be clear, it is going to be a mix of my favorite fight scenes as well as action series. Attack on Titan returned by giving us a rematch between Plot Armor Titan versus the Menace of Eldia, where everything quickly escalated into all-out brawl. And honestly, even though the animation felt a bit clunky at times, the weight this showdown carried had me on the edge of my seat. Even though the animation was not orgasm out of 10, the music, the sound design and the atmosphere it created made me shit my pants. And this still happened to me even though I've read the manga. Summertime Rendering also had some beautifully animated fights with some nail-biter tension. But the best out of all these fights when they lured Shide and Haine into the school and all hell broke loose. Every fight was a tag team fight, but at the same time it was not. They perfectly handled how to separate each and every character's fight, but at the same time keeping them in the loop. If one character is losing, the other one will go to his help, but the one he is fighting will also tag along. As a result, each and every fight will carry huge amount of weight. Chisato vs Majima had one of the most down-to-earth yet the most extra John Wick-esque fight possible. But on the other hand, to do complete 180, Cyberpunk had the most what the fuck am I watching fights going on. And I know the majority of you would like the Adam Smasher fight, but my personal favorite is the edgerunners versus Cyber Psycho. That thing was terrifying. It showed how quickly shit can hit the fan in this psychotic world. One Piece has been giving one after another banger after banger fight, while still following the weekly formula. Marco vs King and Queen came out of nowhere and bitch slapped everyone. Zoro had enough of the bullshit and showed us once again why he is the undisputable vice captain. But the best fight was no doubt the Worst Generation versus the Yonko, And what a way to kick that off. Episode 10-15 moved me to tears and at the same time made me laugh like Roger. Megumi Shitani, I hope we see more of you in upcoming years. Bleach came back once again and oh baby, Yamamoto versus Yuha was a sight to behold. Zanka no Tachi, that shit's fire. It really felt like I was a kid once again, watching Bleach, One Piece, and I guess I should also check out Bo.
Don't you fucking dare, you dirty bastard!
Okay. We also got Gundam, which absolutely fucking slapped. The story itself is so good, but man, seeing 2D mechs fighting was a treat for my eyes. Almost every fight was amazing, and as of me recording right now, there has been one more fight set up, and man, am I hyped for that. But I really doubt that it will surpass Balls to the Walls Action Fiesta, which was Suletta and Ariel versus 6 mobile suits. That shit was fucking fire. But even though all these fights were fucking amazing, there were some standouts this year which deserve best action or fight scenes of 2022. First was the beautifully animated fight sequence by Ufotable in Demon Slayer. Originally, the Uzi vs Gyutaro fight was just this page, but the way they animated that shit was pure unadulterated hype. Personally, I don't care about Demon Slayer. I feel no emotional attachment whatsoever towards any of the characters. I couldn't give a shit about how Tanjiro uses different breath because he uses Colgate mouthwash. But it would be a lie if I wasn't mesmerized while watching this fight. My jaw dropped down so hard that I forgot to breathe, because by the time I finished watching that episode, I had only one word cruising through my mind: breathtaking. The second fight did not even come from a 24 episode or 12 episode full run anime, but it came from a single episode OVA by none other than Mushoku Tensei. Studio Bind just pulled up and flexed on everyone by showing how badass Eris is. And oh my god, is it a fucking treat to watch this. The animation is more fluid than water. The fight's tempo, choreography, and overall how gruesome the world of Mushoku Tensei is shown in this fight. The fight is only slowed down when they have to emphasize how quick and minute moments Eris has made with such ease. I mean, look at this. They showed the tactical depth and decision making of Eris without stopping the fight and giving some dumbass monologue. Eris at first was directly going to attack this guy, but after hearing it is poison, she somersaults by using this sword which is stuck in that guy's gut, and then breaking the other guy's grip of his knife, which is poisoned by the way, by just using this, which I forgot what it is called, and then stabbing him with that same knife just to end it off with that smug look. I mean, oh my god, I fucking love Eris so much. Now that we are on the fights which feel grounded, let's ground them even more with Chainsaw Man versus Katana Man. Even though I knew what was going to happen because I've read the manga, this fight had me on the edge of my seat. Like, I genuinely thought Denji Warrior was going to lose. The way Chainsaw Man creates this atmosphere rips my fucking heart out of concern for these characters. But what I really loved about Chainsaw Man's anime, even though this world consists of devils, chainsaws and Makima, the way characters move feels really human. Have you ever been hit in the gut or overexerted yourself, but you still have to run or just go in to throw another punch? You are not going to move like the fucking wind, but like this. You're going to be stumbling, panting, you'll probably throw up. It is going to be disgusting, nauseating, vile, but it will be human. And that is why I fucking love Chainsaw Man. If previous fights were powered and fueled with hype, Ranking of Kings was purely fueled with emotions. During boss versus Boji, this fight perfectly encapsulated the emotions, the hardships, the journey, and the love for people he cares about. From camera moments to color palettes during this fight, everything was simply beautiful. It was fucking amazing to see how Boji closed in on boss despite boss having such humongous body. The choreography here is next level. We are taken through each and every emotion in this fight, from being scared and terrified to being in awe and having a surprise Pikachu face to unconsciously rooting for a boy because we can see he can prevail, and finally being proud. This one fight shows how this weak and cowardly prince has grown and turned into fearless, benevolent and a wise king. This fight had me overflowing with emotions. Now the last but not the least consists of both the emotional weight which fills your heart and balls to the walls action sequence by none other than Psycho Helmet versus Ekubo from Mob Psycho. This fight was a painting moving in 20k frames according to the CEO of Studio Bones, and sure as hell it looked like it. I just cannot describe the insanity and the heart of it. Just go and watch this episode once again. It is, I'm lost for words. I really don't know what to say. To be honest, I'm not the calculated type of music guy. I'm the type of guy who remembers the first sentence of the song and then just vibes with the music. So by going on that logic, Ranking of Kings second opening fucking slapped. And now that I finished the show, you can see the entire story being told with someone else's eyes without actually spoiling it. Now that is a genius way to make an opening. Unlike the next one on our list, the song itself fucking slapped, but they spoiled the main twist in the fucking opening. I mean, what the fuck, Attack on Titan? The song is named Rumbling, so I guess Eren is definitely going to carry out the euthanasia plan. Right? The sim fucking killed it, but I just don't get it. Why didn't they use the same opening in part 3? Like, what the fuck were they thinking? This is single-handedly one of the best and one of the worst openings of 2022. Mob Psycho did the normal Mob Psycho thing, which is making me feel like I'm on drugs. Kaguya-sama once again came in with Masayuki Suzuki's voice and made me realize I could never be him. Bocchi the Rock's opening slapped as hard as the show did, but the real standouts this year were Yaboy Kongming's Chiki Chiki Bum Bum, which is a cover of a Hungarian song, and that is wild to me. A Japanese company agreed to use a Hungarian song's Japanese cover as their own opening, especially with their non-existent copyright laws. But when it comes to the opening itself, the song absolutely fucking slaps. And not only that, the visuals are so good. And the other standout was the Urusei Yatsura's opening. This for me was one of the best fucking openings of 2022. And that may be my bias for Minami, but her voice is so good. Not only that, but I really loved how the visuals took you through memory lane. The opening changes its style as we progress further and further ahead. And by the end of it, we see this modernized version of 80s aesthetic with disco lights, which I thought was really fucking cool. There were a lot of good ones. There were really lot of good ones. But I can't remember any. Aside from the thing that Chainsaw Man did with the 12 endings and also the Licorice Recoil one. Only because they did the cool thing where the ending starts playing before the episode ends. I really fucking love that. And I guess Attack on Titan also did that. Or did they? No. They did that in part 1 of season 4. I just can't remember. This one's going to be fucking hard because there were so many amazing scores this year. Hiroyuki Sawano came back with Kota Yamamoto to give us the orgasmic Sawano drop, but at the same time giving us a type of music which makes us feel things. Call of Night's OST made me go out at midnight where I would just walk around or take a long drive while vibing to the music. Bleach came back once again and gave us the legendary where I just cannot stop headbanging. This right here is done unconsciously. Gundam Mercury had one of the best signature music of this year, where this track solo carried the hype. And how couldn't it? Every single time this track was played, it was timed at the right fucking moment when shit was about to go down. And every single time, I jumped out of my chair full of excitement. But overall, there were 3 vastly separate OSTs which are winners in my eyes. But before I get to that, I want to give a special honorable mention to Bocchi the Rock. The only reason I didn't put them into the best OSTs because technically these are songs. They are not even insert songs which play in the background, but they are the concert songs. And grouping up the songs from Bocchi the Rock with other OSTs just feels wrong. It feels like nominating a movie in the best animation category where the rest of them are TV series. I mean, technically they are all anime, but come on. Is it really fair? But even if that is the case, it does not change the fact that every song from Bocchi the Rock is absolutely a banger. Especially Guitar Loneliness Blue Planet and Watashi Dake Yurai from Sick Hack. That song came out of nowhere and bitch slapped everyone. And one more thing, if you find the original full version of Watashi Dake Yurai, please link it in the comments below. I'll be waiting for it. And now, let's move on to top 3. Cyberpunk had some of the most rad music choices which absolutely work. From metal where you just wanna go and destroy some shit while screaming like a maniac, to some cool synthwave which gave a nice trippy psychedelic vibe where you just wanna lie down and look at the stars. But the best one was no doubt this. This OST went from, oh, this is some cozy, cute, comfy song, to, oh my fucking god, no, please no. Please don't. I will be real, when this song started playing during the final fight, I was coping so hard that everything will just turn out fine. Right? Like, this is a happy song. There is no way it will be sad. Right? Everything will just work out fine. There is nothing to fear. It is going to be a happy ending. Right? Spoiler alert, it was not a happy ending. And then to completely switch gears, Chainsaw Man gave us some of the most hypnotic, mesmerizing soundtrack, which was totally unexpected. I thought since this was Kensuke Ushio, we'll get some synth retro hardcore EDM, but instead we got music which fills you up with melancholy. During some moments, we feel like this is the most peaceful moment of my life, where you are lying down on this nice green grass with a gentle cold breeze touching your face, but in the very next minute, you feel something is wrong. You get really uncomfortable. There is this tightness in your chest which you just cannot explain. The closest thing I can reference is the music feels like the Dark Souls music during the quieter moments. And this is why Kensuke Ushio is such an amazing composer, where he completely subverts your expectations, but he does that in a right way. Obviously, we have the Ushio headbang music, but the quieter and the airy music is the perfect fit for Chainsaw Man. But I just cannot in my right mind ignore the score of Made in Abyss Season 2. Kevin Penkin has done it again. I don't know how he does it, but he sells the show with his music. Okay, to go on a bit of a tangent, I checked out this show called Legends of Mana because the music overwhelmed me so much that I said I gotta check out this show, even if it looked like this. But Made in Abyss is very outdoes himself every time, and I am so glad that during this track, Kevin Penkin used inspiration from Yoko Kanno's Swan from Zankyo no Terror, which is not only one of my favorite animes but one of my favorite scores. The tracks which Kevin Penkin produces makes me believe in magic. It makes me believe that there is a faraway amazing world which is waiting to be discovered. This world may be full of darkness and might be terrifying, but when you listen to this music, there is this warm, comfortable feeling in this pitch black darkness. Okay, now let's speedrun some categories which are confusing to pick from. Best Comedy, Bocchi the Rock.
さあ続きをどうぞ
Best Slice of Life, Bocchi the Rock. Best Romance. Okay, this one is going to be a bit hard because I really loved the chemistry between Marina and Gosho, and it was so fun to watch them. But I gotta give it to Kaguya-sama because come on. Also, I heard Takagi-san ended and it was really good. Best Fantasy, Made in Abyss, and it wasn't even close. Best Isekai, Ascendance of a Bookworm. I put this category because this show doesn't get enough love. Best Film, Dear King was one of the most underrated movies of this year, which was a nice inspiration from Princess Mononoke with a heartwarming tale of a father and daughter, which melted my heart. Fruits Basket also gave us a prelude, and technically it is a movie, but to be honest, it is a OVA which fucking destroyed me. But even though these were really fucking amazing movies, they were no match for One Piece film Red. I saw this movie in theaters multiple times, and each and every time it was fucking worth it. Ado is so good. Like, really fucking good. Wow, now that I take a closer look, every movie here is about the relationship between a parent and a child. So many dad issues, right? And now, moving on to the big one. There were many, I mean so many banger shows this year. Attack on Titan gave us part 2, which was the setup. Cyberpunk came out of nowhere, subverting everyone's expectations and single-handedly saving the game, which had a really successful launch. Ranking of Kings also finished in March and cemented itself as one of the coming-of-age anime you gotta watch. Licorice Recoil had me glued to my seat, binging every episode, especially after that one episode. Seeing these two girls do crazy things was really fucking fun to watch. On the topic of girls, Bocchi the Rock, I feel has completely redefined the slice of life Hitori Bocchi genre. Summertime Rendering was the underrated anime of this year, which was stuck behind the Disney Plus jail, which really deserves more love. And on the completely other end of the spectrum, Chainsaw Man took the internet by storm, and it deserved every ounce of love it got. Was it overhyped? Mark my words, it only gets better. But there were only two shows which stand head and above the rest for me. The first one was Mob Psycho Season 3, which was the finale of Mob, where everything was wrapped up perfectly with that amazing final episode. And the other one was Made in Abyss Season 2, which was a sight to behold. This right here was the perfect anime. There was not even a single flaw, not even a teeny weeny bit of flaw. It was perfect. And with that, this year comes to the close. 2022 might have gave you a lot of laughs, or it might have made you cry like a bitch, or it might have been just one big bummer for you. But I at least hope the anime of 2022 gave you an escape where you had the most amount of fun. So, goodbye 2022.